It's yet another episode of Inside the Curious Minds podcast. Welcome back to this beautiful channel. Thank you to the new subscribers. Edimona. This week, mumefanya ile kitu. We are happy. We love you. Shout out to our top fans. Lois Asuga, Sharon Kerubo, and Inu Onyango. We are happy. Tumeona kazi yenu. Thank you for being part of this beautiful family. So yeah, today I have beautiful people on set. Introducing my co-host. Jamani, I won't tell them who you are. Jitambulishe kijana.
Sura mbaya, kichwa kubwa, roho safi. Hi cousins.
Hi cousins.
We hoping to have a very amazing conversation here, and cousins, stay tuned.
Hey. Mambo gani?
And Samboy Joshua. Hi cousins. Mambo ni one time.
Say hi cousins, but it's sounding like a cliche. Hey beautiful people.
And
My name is Marisi, you know me guys. So you know me.
There's a face you've seen, and I know you loved it. So Leo, sijui kama namintroduce kama mgeni bado. He's almost becoming part of us. Karibu daktari. The floor is yours.
Thank you. I'm Dr. Window, an oncologist working with Harlow Medical Center attached to other universities. Thank you.
Yeah.
The first of that name.
That is our new cousin.
Now that you have gotten to hear the voices of the people on set, we are going straight into the topic of the day, which is men's mental health awareness. Given that this month, the mental health awareness month, so yeah, that's what we're going to have today. What do you think about men's mental health?
Men's mental health. When we talk about mental health, this is something that is real. That we need to talk about it exhaustively. Because it's real. You and I, the viewer, you know, there's something that is disturbing you. You know, when some people, when they hear about mental health, they're like, what is this big giant? Eh? But it is not an elephant here. It is just simple things that we need to take seriously for our mental well-being.
But I want us to focus on the men's mental health.
That is why I'm saying that you see that father there, that young man there, that kijana there, hiyo kitu kidogo inamsumbua. That is the mental health that we need to discuss. So we need you to stay tuned so that at least you get to know exactly that it mustn't be you must not be in Madare Hospital so that you told that you have a mental issue.
Sure.
Yeah.
Mary?
Oh, for sure I don't have the men's perspective of how the mental state is. But we've clearly seen men surrounding us struggling with their mental health. So for me, personally, what I think about mental health is just being in a state that you are not even sure if, like, tomorrow you will be happy again. I don't know if it makes sense to you. State of hopelessness. Yeah, that is it. For me.
To you.
To me. Sorry.
It's okay. That is also a mental issue. Anyway, it's okay.
What's wrong with you?
Joshua.
Yeah, true. But for me, a lot of men out there, they do not speak about what's going on in their life. They tend to keep it to themselves. So at the end of the day, you find that many, like the male people, they tend to commit a lot of suicide than the female. You know.
I hope you're gonna solve that today.
Yeah, I'm going to solve that. True. I'm going to solve that
Hey,
because
sound prepared.
yeah,
Because
a lot of men out there commit a lot. They go through a lot. They keep it to themselves.
Yes.
At the end of the day, it's going to overwhelm them. unapata mtu amejirusha kwa bridge, sorry. Somewhere in California, Kenya, around the world.
We'd want to know why, so, what leads people to.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, I think that men suffer a lot. Yeah, when it comes to mental health.
Now that you are in the medical field, obviously you've met people that have approached you with such issues. Maramoja, okay, I know, yeah, not directly, but yeah. What do you think of men's mental health state now, like in today's world?
What I think today was about the awareness, because you're in the month of awareness, and we need to dig it down from its origin. Now, in the early 90s, actually even before the 19s, we remember that there was a time and a period when people lived in the era of reconnaissance, where people believed that God is to do it all, and people were to leave everything for God. But then now come after the agrarian revolution, now people believe that they can solve their problems without mentioning God in everything. And now come 1990s, it is now realized that there are many things in the people's mind, people trying to come with innovations, and we must agree that men were the people coming up with the with these innovations. We remember people like Jethro Tull, we remember Thomas Edison. We do not see ladies here. We do not see girls coming with the matters that were new during the agrarian revolution. And we cannot say that the writers were partisan in that manner, that they only considered one gender. And now confirming that, come now 1949, it was now declared in US that now there was to be Men's Mental Awareness Month, which was meant to be May. And now come in UK, it was now meant to be in June, which I think has been adopted in Kenya, but not in practice. Because if you look at mental awareness done in Kenya, it is too done poorly, that people don't even know if such a thing exists. But I believe it is because of the society that we live in that have made men so much demeaned. Currently, men have been made too low. The boy child have no voice currently, and they die in silence. Now, as we talk today, I was watching on statistics last time, and we realized that 703,000 people commit suicide yearly. And now in this year, in the last year, it was 703. The other year, it was 700,000 sharp. And out of the 703,000 people who committed suicide, we had 694 of them being men. Ooh. You can imagine. That's why the number has really gone down. And that, I think, has really affected our number, because today it is ratio 1 to 7. That is, one man is expected to at least marry 7 women to balance the quota.
What?
That is very true.
That tells you that men have really died. And so when you talk of the mental state today, I think today is even worse. Should it be diagnosed in Aquarium, you're going to realize that most men are going to die. And I must say, if awareness is not done, then most men are going to live. Actually, they're already living with it. And I'll let you know this, Madam Anita.
What are they living with?
They're dealing with the mental issues. You know, when we talk of mental health, let us first understand it. Mental health is the general state of the mind. It could be psychological, it could be emotional, and even psychological. You need to know that there are many types of mental disorders that must not go to the hospital. Some of them were created by our parents. Some of them were created by society. For example, we have got these agoraphobia. Agoraphobia is a mental disorder that someone fears leaving their home because they believe that is the safest place. If you look at that thing, that is something that was created by our parents. Nisikukute umeenda kwa nani na usiende kwa wenyewe. So you live with that. We have got another thing called introversy. Introversy is a mental disorder that people don't know. Yes, it is. That was created by our parents. You were given many toys and you're not allowed to go and play outside. And so you lived a life where you feared seeing people. And when the guests came to your house, you had to go to the bedroom.
It's not just a character that someone develops.
It's not.
So is extrovert also a mental issue?
Not really. Extrovert is not.
Weird.
Extrovert is not. Extrovert is a normal person. Every normal person is an extrovert. Now, introvert is the mental issue. Because it has been created in you that you're not to meet people. You get that? We have anorexia is a mental disorder, and anorexia has been created in this manner. People have been shamed in their bodies in the society. Anorexia, maybe for them that don't understand, the viewers, we are talking, it is an eating disorder where people tend to eat small so that their body don't grow big. That is because it has been made to us that yes, it has been made that that men don't like fat ladies. Yeah, so you are trying to eat less so that you don't grow your body. That's a mental disorder, and it is placed in you, and other anxieties that are there. And you know, these people, like the one I was talking about, agoraphobia, are people who even believe they cannot leave their country. You get a green card, but you cannot leave your country just because you know there is someone going to torture you. But whatever thing you have was related to you through stories. So that's exact. So going back to your question, I will just say that men currently, with the state we have now, men are really suffering, and great of mental disorders are created in them.
Do you think
with him.
Do you think men have issues in sharing their... Why do you think men have problems sharing their emotions with people?
I think I'll start. Because, okay, most of the people, they don't understand us.
What makes you think we don't understand you? That's something you put to yourself.
Let's
You haven't
say,
said you don't understand you.
For example, I have an issue.
Uh-huh.
Let's say we are in a relationship. I have an issue. I lay it out to you. Instead of us communicating, you start arguing.
If that's what...
How will we save that issue?
Okay, according to me, Anita, I think this notion of what will people think of me. You know,
you don't have to think like that.
That is why we men are dying slowly. You know, this notion that a man should not be seen crying. But it is okay not to be okay.
Exactly.
So when I've got a problem, I just tend to keep it to myself so that at least people should not know exactly what I'm going through.
But those are things you've... When do because who said you're not supposed to cry in public?
That is why I'm saying we men die slowly, unknowingly, because we feel like when we share our emotions with everybody or somebody, they are going to laugh at us, they are going to share it to other people. But I always believe that a problem shared... Now this is me now talking to my fellow men here who are undergoing this problem. You know, I believe that a problem shared is half solved, right? Yeah. So if you are going through something, it's very okay for a man to cry.
My question is, why is it a problem for them to try share? Like,
that is where I'm headed to.
Why do you think it's hard for men to share the problem?
You know, when I started, I told you that the one thing that is very common, what will these people say about it?
Okay.
Yeah, you know, and that is why I'm explaining it, saying that do not think of what people talk about you. Just share it with everybody, or just have a confidant.
On that note,
okay.
For me, I kind of feel like for you men, it's harder for you to share because men are not necessarily taught boys are not taught necessarily how to be men. What they are taught mostly is how not to be women. So you hear, you don't have to cry, don't cry, be a man.
I really long for such classes because
don't be weak, be a man. So you put this in your head, and when you grow up as a young man, you find that you've been conditioned by the society to believe that men are supposed to not do certain things. You're not supposed to share your problems just because you are supposed to be a man. But necessarily, we are supposed to be raising men in a way that they don't like, how do I put it? They don't like, we are not supposed to shame them for doing things that or associating things they do.
I want my question answered. Why is it that men...
Can I answer you?
Let Daktari answer, then we'll come back to you. Given that Daktari hasn't talked yet.
Okay. I think I have the right answer for this. My friends are having it. Maybe perhaps they're not just putting it in the way you want. the reason men find it hard to share is the stereotypic mind that has been created, and certain adages that have been created, not only in our society, but also in our religions. I have seen that, and I will articulate them. I will really find them in a quote. They may be bilinguals. Let us see. In the Muslim, they believe that when someone dies, a man has only to let us start by first saying that these people have been made to believe that they should thank God every day. 33 times you are to put your head down and thank God for creating you a man and not a woman who will cry. And then let us come to their funeral times. They are not allowed to cry. Actually, they are just not allowed to cry. Now, let us come to Africa. In the Christianity, we have it in the book of James that says that, men, listen, you are trading with a weak person. So men have been made to know that women are weak, and therefore they are to stand as pillars. So how do you tell someone weak your problem? You're going to make them fall. You're going to make them faint. You're going to make them even more sick. So you will die with it in the city. Your house is locked. You are locked out by the landlord, but you're to die with it because if you tell your mother will faint. Your mother will cry. Now let us go further.
Can I differ with you before you proceed? Okay. Is it really true that women are that weak?
No, I think that's a question you're laying. You're not disagreeing with me. But I want to bring it to you, Mr. Wycliffe, that the thing you're trying to disagree with is it's a thing you've been living with, and you know it well. Now, look at your community. I know you well. If I'm to be tribal, I think I know it's a law, okay? In our community, the laws who are watching will tell you, a relation is not allowed for men. Men are not allowed to relate. That is doing.
You just did that.
What are we to do? You're only to do something. I'll mention it Seguia. That is just make some sounds, but let's not be seen with tears. So you can. If you are to cry really little and clear, then you are to hide. You are to hide somewhere. Cry and then reappear. You are to disappear and reappear. So the society have made us live in a life where we cannot share because we are a strong team and there's a weak team. And you can see it even in the entire Bible. Just to mention, you see men are cropped up in every place. They've been given priorities. So now they don't find it easy to share. And now in this society, it will even be harder for them because the thing that was thought to be weak seems to be growing so high even in numbers. So they don't even know who to tell and who not to tell. Another reason as to why men find it hard to share, and this one I must tell you, is because the person you're sharing to will also share it to another person. I'll be very specific to this. I'll tell you this out of psychology because I have studied it and I know. Approximately 97% of women don't know how to keep a word for themselves. They will always share it and we'll finish with this thing and they don't tell him.
Don't.
You get that? But they will share it. Yeah. At last they will share it.
How
and that's why 97%.
I'm the 3%. I can't be yourself.
Let me just add on that. Daktari has said it all. Just to add on that, if men share, let's say you are like my wife, my girlfriend.
For example.
Yeah.
For example, let me see an example. For example, please.
Daktari has said, if I share with you, you will go and share it with Mary.
You guys assume a lot of things.
But have I helped? Even if I share it.
Let me finish.
Okay.
Mary and any other person ataniona kama mimi ni weak. Sawa. So I find let's say I meet Mary aniambie Anita aliniambia this and this and that. Aniambie tu.
But
for example,
must you share with
Aniambie tu.
No,
I tell her. Me and her, let's say we are one thing. Me, I know we are one thing. So I share it with her. Anita, instead of keeping it to herself, I ambie Mary.
But what if Mary is my confidant? I'm just sharing.
Mary,
I'm going to get opinions on how I'll help you out.
For example, Mary, why don't you help me out? Mimi na wewe.
Because
we are a team.
Yeah, we are a team. They start thinking that you've shared and it's overwhelming. I don't really know how I'll help you out. So I'm going to Mary because I want her to give advice on it.
No, let me just finish. Mary can keep quiet. She'll go tell someone will tell me. Me, I'll sing myself up.
Anita, can I tell you something? When
I can't solve my
when
things
we are
on my
going
own.
through all these, the only solution is we can look for a counselor, you know, so that at least a counselor, I'm confident that if I go to Mary and I know Mary is a counselor, if I share my problem with Mary, definitely.
Don't be so sure.
No,
Exactly. Mary is a friend.
Yeah.
No. Indeed.
Exactly.
Not really. I was
I
saying
think
for
my
example.
brother, I think Mr. Wycliffe, I think you're going too deep. You're already reaching a conclusion because you're already providing a solution, and we are
yes.
still digging on the problem.
Yeah.
Now, let us ponder this problem before you finally give the solution.
Exactly.
Now, going back to where we were, another reason as to why we find it hard to share is that because sometimes you share to the people who don't bring solution.
Exactly.
You get it? You're sharing to a lady. And as I said, we must agree. It is not. There is no option. We must agree that these people cannot keep words.
Yeah.
And it is because, based on how our brain was, leave the anatomical brain. We are talking of now the mind inside that brain. Men are deep thinkers, while women are fast thinkers.
Yeah.
That is why when you are driving on a particular area, a lady will provide solution very fast. They are very fast solutions, but the solutions are full of regret later.
Exactly.
But men stay too long. In fact, you will agree with me because you people have fathers, you people have brothers, and you have husbands perhaps, or even boyfriends. You will attest to it that you can tell your father something today, and then he'll be answering you tomorrow, or even in a week time.
Yeah,
It means we are deep thinkers. Men are thinking too deep, and that's why they end up in suicide because he thinks of what if. And then that what if lacks an end. But what if? So when it lacks an end, he sees then, let me leave. Let me be the person who can leave.
Dr.
Yes.
I want to ask, okay, it's okay that you guys are deep thinkers, but
And you are
why would you?
We are just fast thinkers.
Why would you not seek help from someone of the same caliber? Why would you seek advice from me if you know I can't handle it? Yet you have Wiki, who is your close-knit brother, who can also help you solve the same problem.
Now, maybe you've never met men talking, and I think that's why I will share with you. The reason men don't share with men, okay, I've told you the reason men don't share with the ladies is because ladies will react with it, they'll take it out. But the reason men don't share with men is that because men, when you tell them, it's like you've added them a problem. Maybe you don't know that part. If I tell Wycliffe my problem today, be rest assured, it will be part of his problem.
Exactly.
Number two, when you tell them your problem, they will start telling you their problem. So you confine to each other and end up with the two problems.
Exactly.
You went with one and now you have two.
Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly how men are. When you go
solve.
and tell them that my wife is disturbing me, and then he start telling you, Naka shiro wangu wako hivyo. Women are that way. Yes. So that's how we end up dying with it. You find your own solution. And that's exactly how men are. And let me look at another one in this aspect. You're in prison, or maybe you're in cell. You're in cell and you're calling a fellow man. Niaje bro, si unisaidie na nini. What sometimes some men do, I always call them immature men. What they sometimes do, they go to your wife or go to your girlfriend and they'll ask them again, hey, sasa jumzee ameshikwa mazee, sasa itakuwa aje story, itaenda aje. And then the person is telling is weak. We'll also just go and share it.
Right.
So it will be so sometimes, because that one, I'm a victim of such circumstance. I found myself in cell, I'm dying, I'm going to go to work, but I can't tell nobody because I look at through my phone and like, I see, huyu ni Tony, nikiambia Tony, ataambia Maggie. No. This is, huyu atalia na hana pesa. So you end up in your entire phone book, you didn't see someone to tell because people are loose in the mouth. So that's why we don't share it. By the way, if you didn't know now, know it today. That ladies have no problem you sharing their problem. Men have that problem.
I wanted to say be like us.
Yes, ladies don't have problem you sharing their problem.
But they can
because they even have good answers for those. In fact, tell them, go and tell a lady that, how would you call you? Remind me of your name.
Marie.
Now tell Marie, tell Anita that Marie told me that imagine that kumbe kana mimba. They have automatic answer, so what? Remember ni yangu. And you it's over that.
You cannot share my shame.
So this brings us to a point that these ladies seems to be smart. Is that what they
Okay,
ladies
it works in our favors.
Personally, I think, okay, on my own opinion, madam ufikiria mbio sana. And we process. Sawa.
So you know, I want to concur with that, that ladies are fast thinkers. But come to realize of this, come to think of this. If ladies are meant to speak 25,000 words a day and men 7,000, then that definitely will tell you that men absorb so fast, so much, before giving an answer.
But
So
now
in the process of processing, we get mental issues, you know. The mind becomes the dump site of all the problems.
Exactly. Talking of, do you think what exactly nini inafanyanga wanaume at this point wana feel ni kama we can't get help, we need to just deal with the issues? What brings you to a point where you want to solve your issues and you know exactly you can't do it alone? So do you think is it that the junior mmepewa responsibilities mingi mkwe providers, you guys have to be leaders, as those the things that are making you go through a lot of mental issues, given that you've nasema say you're going through issues and you can't really share because hatuwezi wasaidia aje kama.
Okay, Anita, one thing that you'll agree with me is that let's say for example I have a court issue. I will give the two examples. First, maybe I have a court issue. It's been alleged that I raped somebody. It's an allegation. And I raped. For example,
you just said you raped. Sorry.
Alleged.
It's alleged, that I did that. You know, there will be that prejudgment on, like, everybody will be like, he did it.
Yeah, chances are.
Yeah, even though you, according to you, you know that I did not do this. And there are so many witnesses who can attest to that you did not do that. But when you face now the law, do you think there's a possibility that you'll be ruled fairly, or the judgment will be
fair? You'll always be ruled fairly. Why would you think that
for you to be charged, Ricky, they have to prove beyond reasonable doubt that you actually did this. So for you to be actually jailed or something, there has to be evidence.
Yes.
There has to be
proofs,
reports, medical reports,
yes.
So it's just a lazy way to say umeoneka.
Okay. So the second example, you know, a man has graduated today, and Mary has also graduated, and then we are going with our papers. Maybe I got something slightly higher than what she got. And now we are sitting on a panel that wants one person, male or female. Do you think that Wiki, who is a man, will get this job?
Why not?
Get the job. If you qualify for the job, why not?
Let us just be realistic.
For someone who has been competitive in the corporate space, I've gone to interviews with male. I've failed sometimes.
You failed, but
it's wrong for you to think that we are getting the job because we are women. No, it doesn't work like that. We sometimes we are actually good for the job. You have to accept that. Sometimes we are not good and we won't get the job because we're not good enough. Yeah.
So will that lead into a mental disorder?
Example.
Please do.
Okay.
You're digressing.
I don't want to say where I work, but where I work, like in the beginning when I joined.
Okay, in the beginning.
Yeah. Nikijoin hiyo kazi kwenye nilikuwa, like majority ilikuwa the
ladies.
No.
Men.
Us.
Okay.
So, but
what changed?
Kuendelea hivyo, I don't know the
trend had to change.
Trend, I don't know what led to change. Right now, if you research, hata ukiresearch sahi,
it is everywhere.
But what makes you think? Why would you want to blame?
Wamejaa kila mahali. Hata sahi mimi.
It's everywhere. And
apart from my boss.
It's not an
if women
boss wake mwenye boss wangu She's a lady.
Okay.
Yeah, if women
I don't
are
want to
turning
talk
out to
about
be
it.
more
I don't
productive
want to
than
talk
you
about
men,
it.
why
No,
would
we
you
are
want?
not-
You don't
let me
have.
give
You
you
have
an
not told
example.
us why
Let me
women
give-
have been put there more
Okay,
than you guys are
Let
there.
me give you an example.
Tell us
Tunatoa
what.
kitu kidogo.
So,
So
apart from
Kitu
nation-
kidogo hawatoi.
no,
tunatoa kitu
relax.
kidogo. Yeah, this is Kenya. We must agree.
exactly.
This is Kenya.
Apart from mentioning names, like mimi personally, sawa, mwenye ako juu yangu I'm qualified kuliko mwenye ako juu.
Because she's a lady.
She's
What?
a lady, but mimi niko qualified kuliko yeye, but mimi niko chini yake.
What do you think?
Explain that.
What
We
is
can't.
that?
I can't explain
So,
it.
Exactly.
So you know my brother here is going through a lot of
Mental health issues
Yeah.
at work.
One, you see, he's been humiliated at the workplace because the
And
person
the
that
society is also humiliating.
Why are you being humiliated
Two-
for someone?
So he's going through a lot.
What else to that? Suicide.
Let's
You
come
wanna
to reality.
I don't want
Uh-huh,
to
uh-huh,
die,
that's
but
right.
a lot of men are dying
Uh,
out there.
Let us come to reality.
Uh-huh.
Without taking any gender, let us come to reality when it comes to that. If you're given someone who is, I'll use the word danda, or rather underqualified, or rather, let's say someone less skilled, and you're working under that person, I must tell you for sure, you're going to experience a lot of problems. And I'll tell you, even in our field, we've seen many doctors committing suicide. We've seen doctors having a lot of problems because, leave the quack part, you just have, they're not qualified. Except that you know very well that you're in school for many years than this person here. You know very well that you are qualified than this person here. Why are you going to have hard time? And by the way, it can finally lead to mental issues. Because you'll be forced to do their work.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you get it. You'll be forced to do their work. So by doing so their work, you end up not sleeping. And you must know that when you're not sleeping, you will finally end up with insomnia. And when you have insomnia, you will have a mental issue. You are going to have mental issue biologically. Now, these people, this Eve gender, you realize that they've been given much priority in most of things. That the truth is, just a minute, that's hate speech. We must understand that these people, they're given some responsibility that in reality they cannot. Just can't do it. Because you're not going to explain to me how a lady is going to be a foreman. In fact, that name was always a four. Let's just agree, it was always a four-man. This four, I'm sure it's not even,
I've never seen a
it's
four
not even
lady.
going to be a book in the book.
Woman.
But you know, today, as we talk today, those people have taken things that are not even theirs. Okay, when you talk of the equity that you're talking about, you mentioned it about you having raped somewhere, and I heard her really saying that you know the legal justice. Listen, let us go there. I've worked in that office, and I know well what I'm saying. Now, one, when you take your wife, let me talk of your wife. You've taken your wife or any other lady to the police and then report that your wife has knocked you with something. Do you know what they'll tell you? And I will really use the same language they use. As I am but if it happens that you just push ahead, by saying, be rest assured,
You'll be arrested.
they are coming with
their land
with their land
On that
cruiser.
note, on that note, I want to understand.
Let me just finish the part. Let me just finish the part.
Okay.
Now you get it. That is really unfair. Really, really unfair. Do you know that last year but one, that is in 2023, yeah, we were doing statistics. I'm a student of forensics, and we were doing a statistic to realize that 60% of the people at committee really did not commit the crimes.
Very true.
Except that they could not talk. They don't know how to express. Because
Now
they
men
were,
don't know how to express themselves.
yes, they were casing
Most of
against ladies.
Oh.
Do you know that a lady, I will tell you here, and I'm sure I'm on record, that do you know that a lady can easily get a lawyer than a man? A lady can simply go and tell a lawyer, we kesi tukimaliza kenye utalipwa tutakula. But with a man, you have to put some cash first. Because there's nothing like favoring you. If you're walking two people at night, and then the policeman sees you, you'll hear policeman say, aya, unatoka wapi kijana sai? Na hiyo ni bag, wewe ni mwizi, weka kijana ndani. You'll be put in for nothing. And then wataandika loitering. And then with the lady you'll hear, aya mrembo unatoka wapi? Na umebeba kama nyuma ya pisto. Hiyo ni msichana ilale wale hivyo. Tusindikize. Kama kwa nyumbani bado tunatoa guest sleep. These are not things that we think. These are things we've seen. We've walked in the street and we've seen them happen. How do you expect such a man to come out of that place without a mental torture? This person went to look for the children, to look for food for the family. He's coming home, umemzuia somewhere, and then he's taken to cell. Get right? He's disturbed. And by the way, I heard you saying, and I want to mean that down. That is it because you are given much responsibility or something? No, let us come to reality. There is no comfortable man, or there is no man comfortable if the wife provides in the house. I'm sure they are listening to me and they are here. And I want to tell you, anytime a woman tried to do such a thing in any house today, should these roofs get out of these houses and speak the reality? I'll tell you, if a woman feeds a man for just 5 days, not years, 5 days, it will sound like she fed the man for 5 months. And it's
but it should be like that, because you men are supposed to be provided.
And that's what I'm saying. What I was saying to say is, provision cannot give us a mental disorder. It will depend on who are you providing to. Sometimes we provide to these people who never appreciate. You busy providing for them, you bring home, they don't appreciate.
But sometimes you bring too little.
You know,
appreciate.
I think that is what I found.
This notion
that you have to work hard enough.
This notion that has been instilled into you ladies, that my money is our money.
Should be like that.
No.
Your money.
Is it
yes.
No, let's come to reality. Let us stop beating around the bush.
Yeah.
The truth is, a woman's money is a woman's money. Let us stop ranting here and there.
Yeah.
A woman's money is a woman's money.
Then
Is there any man who is going to be comfortable seeing a woman providing the house? No, no, there's something I'm bringing here. Until you get me right, it will be muddy of a woman. It will be muddy of a woman, and I speak of a woman who is a wife, not any other woman. It will be muddy. That means the woman is already having the mental disorder. If you see your husband really struggling and you cannot chip in, then why are you even with that man in the first place? They said for every successful man, there's a woman behind them.
Yeah.
With this behind simply meant that you can step up when you see this man is going down.
Just like
that is what is called a teamwork. But it cannot be a regular thing. The problem with our society is that we become too rotten, men have become too weak.